Hello, everyone, and this is your African Energy Week special coverage out of Cape Town in South Africa. It's Wednesday, the 6th of November. Again, it's been another very interesting day here at the forum. It's been all about energy finance Africa for most of the session today, whether you're talking about Namibia, Angola, Nigeria, and every other African economies in between, including meeting with the OPEC special panel that was handled early in the morning. But of course, let me bring you up to speed some of the things that are very interesting here around the conversations around the Africa's energy space. And some of these are coming through what the African Bank is looking to do over the next few days, which is the launch of a deal room that will collate all the deals that has been signed and continue to provide what's called update, and that is expected tomorrow. There are a number of conversations from the various rooms and sessions today on small and medium energy financing and a whole lot about country focus. But more specifically, let me just give you a sense of what Namibia is doing, and the Minister in charge of Energy and Mines, Thomas Wendo, spoke at a panel a bit earlier. Give you a little sense of how Namibia is moving forward with its oil and gas prospecting, which is expected pretty soon, as well as the hydrogen sector. Let's take a listen to that.
Would that be possible to create, for example, some sort of a fund that can be used by the local entrepreneurs then to make use of that fund? But how do you fund, or how do you capitalize that fund? We are also thinking about maybe utilizing a certain percentage of some of the fees or the revenues that are going to be derived from this resource that can then be deployed in this fund, which then can be utilized, of course, under certain conditions.
So one of the sessions that I sat on today to discuss was on financing energy infrastructure in Africa, bridging the gap, hundreds of billions of dollars needed. When I spoke to one of the executive vice presidents at the African Bank, Hitham, about what the African Bank is doing regarding supporting African private sector, governments, and others who need the billions of dollars across the various sectors, oil and gas, power, electricity, and all of that, upstream, downstream, and hydrocarbon, and how much they are getting, and the support that the African Bank will provide much for that. This is what he told me on our panel today.
We're very keen now to spread our support across. You see us supporting countries import their main raw materials, increasing the capacity of banks in countries where their local banks have limitation, providing a lot of ACA support into the countries, advisory, syndication. It's a lot of effort. Now our balance sheet approaching $40 billion, and they're all driven towards this. We have a very clear mandate of what we call additionality. We do deals that do additionalities to the countries that we operate in, creating work for people, additional value adding. You've seen us yesterday on the gala dinner. Most of those transactions that help indigenous companies in Africa acquiring foreign assets and operating it are actually, we're the name behind it. Like we were looking at this award yesterday and thinking anyone who will win, we will be winning, because such a proud thing to do, helping African operate this. We also now working with a lot of countries on the value addition stream. You've seen us in Gabon and Benin. We're now taking countries from exporting cottons to garment, exporting wood to furniture, plywood. We're trying to tell Africa that the margins, you stop exporting your raw material or cotton and buy it back as garment with double the price and multiple price. Own the margin, keep the capital inside. We have a big drive now on how countries can use the raw material to build capital, but also focus on industries that create jobs and that create capacity building for SME. You see in Nigeria now how the oil sector, you have a lot of SME capacity has been built to service this industry rather than just importing it from outside. So a lot of development effort around, a lot of focus. We're not only focused on the trading of oil, for example, speaking of oil, we're focusing on helping African countries own their infrastructure. It's a big mandate. We're trying to cover as much as possible, supporting our member countries.
So let's get back to the deals, because what I got from this Wednesday sessions about the energy finance, but it's all about those deals. One of the biggest deals being signed is a term paper of about $350 million for UTM, floating liquefied natural gas in Nigeria, the first of such size in Africa. And the CEO of UTM, FLNG, was so enthused when he spoke to me briefly earlier in the afternoon regarding the deal with Afreximbank and how quickly this project was expected to come on stream. This was our conversation. Take a listen.
Afreximbank is in charge of raising the debt and equity for the UTM floating LNG, which is the first floating LNG in Nigeria. And we are the first indigenous company out of Africa to develop that project. So what we signed is a term sheet for the $350 million, which Afreximbank has secured the first level approval as part of the syndication of the total debt for the project. They have the mandate to raise the debt and equity for this project.
How much was the latest figure?
This is a $350 million. That's their own contribution to the debt syndication of the project.
Actually, the amount that was signed yesterday, the $350 million US dollars, how soon will these funds be getting into use?
So the project has a debt and equity structure, and the debt is what Afreximbank is syndicating with other financial institutions that include African Development Bank, Rand Merchant Bank, and then the Sinosure and other FDIs. So what we intend to do is that between now and the first quarter of 2025, we intend to take the final investment decision. Once the final investment decision is taken, then the funds can now start be utilized for the construction phase of the project.
In terms of the energy finance across projects in Africa, what makes projects very quickly for approval and to find the right money to get on stream as you've just been able to secure?
Okay, so what lessons learned is that your project has to have a proper preparatory stage in terms of your front-end engineering design, which is your feed. Then you need to have the right EPC companies, those who have done such projects that have the requisite experience, because when you're doing a multi-billion-dollar project, the investors and the financier have to take a risk of someone. So in this situation, they need to take a risk of your EPC company who have the capability and ability to deliver your project. Failure which nobody will put such magnitude of funding to your project.
Let me give you a sense of what will happen tomorrow. Thursday is going to be about women, celebrating women in Africa's energy sector, bringing youth also into conversation. You got 2 separate sessions early tomorrow on that. And I mentioned the deal room that will be opened to officially launch tomorrow afternoon, as well as a session dedicated to floating LNG projects in Africa. But there's still a whole lot more, from DR Congo to Angola to Senegal and beyond. What's happening in Cote d'Ivoire and the rest of Africa. And very important, look out tomorrow for our coverage on South Africa's national petroleum company going on a current roadshow as South Africa joins the rest of the continent as a hydrocarbon producing economy. And it's about it for today on your African Energy 2024 Summit Special out of Cape Town, South Africa. I am Bosun. Have a